Check this.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Chaotic Strategies. Got another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for you guys today. This is by no means a competitive deck. This is strictly a casual play deck, but it's one of my favorite decks to play just because of how fun it is. It's extremely fast, can be extremely fast. And, you know, I think with the right setup and the right cards thrown in there, I think it could be a really good road deck in competitive play. And that deck is Prank Kids. Just absolutely love this deck. It's a lot of fun and really cheap to build, honestly. I mean, even if you tried to make it or wanted to make it competitive, really, I don't think you would actually end up spending a whole lot of money to make this deck competitive. It's just a very naturally fast deck. So, without me sitting here talking any more about it, let's get right into today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. Okay, so to start off my Prank Kids deck profile, we are running 3 Prank Kids Dropsies. So Dropsy is pretty simple. If you use this card and send it to the graveyard because you use it for a fusion or link material, you're going to gain 1,000 life points, and then you can special summon another Prank Kids monster from your deck in defense position onto the field. So, great effect. We also run 3 Prank Kids Fansies. Same deal. If you use this card for a fusion or link material and it gets sent to the graveyard, you can then ditch 1 Prank Kids card into the graveyard and then special summon another Prank Kids monster in defense position onto the battlefield. And normally my target for this is going to be Prank Kids Plan, which is the trap card that I'll show you guys here in just a little bit within the deck. Next up, we run 3 Prank Kids Lamsies. Same deal. If it's used for fusion or link material, gets sent to the graveyard, you can burn your opponent for 500 life points and then special summon another Prank Kids monster from your deck in defense position onto the battlefield. And then probably my favorite monster in this deck is Prank Kids Roxy's. Again, if it's used as material for a link or fusion summon sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 card from your hand, then you get to draw 1 card from your deck, and then after that you get to special summon a Prank Kids monster from your deck into or onto the battlefield in defense position. And then last up for the monster cards in this deck, seems a little odd, but I also run 3 Giant Rex in this deck as well. And the reason why I run this card is if this card is in our hand when we activate Roxy's effect, we can banish Giant Rex, and then Giant Rex pops back itself from banishment onto the battlefield. It is a level 4, so it kind of gives us that extra fodder to get into some of the other links that we have in this deck that's not Prank Kids related. And I mean, honestly, it's a relatively good card with 2,000 attack and 1,200 defense. Okay, and that's it for the monsters that I run in this deck. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 Prank Kids Pandemonium. This is pretty much just a polymerization for Prank Kids. So during your main phase, you're going to special summon, or you're going to fusion summon 1 Prank Kids monster from your extra deck using materials in your hand or on the field. The only downside to this is that you can't special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for Prank Kids monsters, which really isn't that big of a deal because the whole deck revolves around Prank Kids anyway. Then I also run 3 Prank Kid Pranks. This is a continuous spell card. So with this, you can discard 1 Prank Kids card from your hand, and then you're going to special summon a Prank Kid token. That token can't be tributed. And then during your end phase, you can take 3 Prank Kid cards, except for pranks, and then shuffle them back into your deck. And then after you do that, you get to draw a card. So this is continuous, so you can do that every turn. Then I also run 3 Prank Kids Place. This is the field spell for Prank Kids. So when this card is activated, you can add 1 Prank Kids monster from your deck to your hand. Then once per turn, if you fusion summon a Prank Kid fusion monster, except during the damage step, you can have all monsters you control gain 500 attack, even if the card leaves the field. And once per turn, if you link summon a Prank Kids link monster, except during the damage step, you can have all monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack, even if this card leaves the field. You can only activate it once per turn. So with this deck, there's no reason that you can't fusion summon and link summon both in the same turn, which gives you both effects. You're going to gain 500, your opponents are going to lose 500 attack, and then you can pretty well do whatever you want to do. Just a fantastic card all around. Then I run 3 polymerization, so effectively I'm running 6 polymerization cards just to get into my fusion plays. This deck isn't cloggy really all that much with how much fusion support that you have in this deck. Running 2 lightning vortex, discard 1 card, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. 1 instant fusion. This deck used to have 3 instant fusions in it, but once instant fusion got limited, of course I had to limit it in this deck. 1 monster reborn and 1 twin twisters just for some back row removal. And that's it for the spells. Going in for the traps, I run 2 Prank Kids Plan. Like I said, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. This is going to be our target for Prank Kids Lampsies, so we can take one of these out of the deck, ditch it to the graveyard. Its normal effect is during your main phase you can immediately link summon into a Prank Kids monster using this card. But I don't really use it for that effect all that much. I use it for its graveyard play. So while this card is in the graveyard, when your opponent goes to attack you, you can shuffle, you can banish this card and then shuffle as many Prank Kid cards as you want to from your graveyard back into your deck. And when you do that, your opponent's attacking monster loses 100 attack for each Prank Kid card that got shuffled back into your deck. So it really helps, as long as it doesn't get negated, it really helps bring that attack down to kind of get you through in a pinch. And plus you kind of restack your deck, you've got everything back where you need to go, and then you can just pretty much do the entire cycle all over again. I run 1 Storming Mirror Force, 1 Quaking Mirror Force, 1 regular Mirror Force, and then I run 2 Drowning Mirror Forces, which I absolutely love. When your opponent declares an attack, you shuffle all their attack position monsters back into the deck. Absolutely love that card. And then I run 1 Solemn Warning. I think I'm going to mix this up a little bit, probably throw in more of the Solemn setup, so Warning, Judgment, Strike into this. But the Mirror Forces work really well with this deck, just because a lot of people don't run the Mirror Force cards anymore. It just kind of throws everybody off. They're not really quite expecting it. So that's it for the main deck. Moving on to my extra deck, I run 1 Prank Kids Meow Meow, 2 Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark, 3 Prank Kids Doodle Doos, 1 Prank Kids Rip Roarin' Roaster. So that's all the Prank Kids stuff that I run for the Link setups. For the fusions, I run 2 Prank Kids Rocket Rides, 2 Prank Kids Weather Washers, and 1 Prank Kids Battle Butler. That's all the fusions that I run in this deck. And then for non-Prank Kids cards, I run 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerebrus, and 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon, which has saved my butt a lot. I absolutely love running Topologic Bomber in this deck, just because when you special summon a card to one of its zones, you pretty much destroy all monsters on the field except for him. So it's fantastic. It saved my butt against Dragon Links. You know, if you can bait out a lot of their negates, Topologic is really going to save you, because like I said, this is so fast. Even if they pretty much negated everything you were trying to do in this deck, but you were still able to get Topologic out, well, then they've got no way to stop his effect once you special summon to one of his arrows, and then you pretty much just have a board wipe on both sides. But because this deck bounces back so fast and you can kind of keep re-upping your deck, it doesn't really bother you to have, you know, a board wipe even if you're the one doing it. I think at some point I might also throw in Nightmare Unicorn, just so that way I kind of have a full Nightmare setup with this deck. Still debating on it, but it's still something that I think I'm going to do. And all the Prank Kids cards have various effects that will help pull back and get you into faster, bigger plays. Once they're all kind of linked together, they kind of build off of each other, a lot like Cybers does. And that's my casual Prank Kids deck profile. All right, everyone, there it is. That's my Prank Kids deck profile. Like I said, this deck was a lot of fun, is a lot of fun to play. This particular setup, like I said, is purely for casual play, but I think I am going to take the Lightning Vortexes out and put in 2 Infinite Impermanents in there. Those cards went down in price. They come in the new Cyber Dragon Structure deck, so I think I'm going to pick up a few of those just to have those cards in there. The Lightning Vortex is great just because you don't really care if you discard one of your Prank Kids because you have so many other ways to pull them back out of the graveyard. You can utilize their effects in the graveyard. It's just, there's so many ways to pull them back into your deck or into your hand. So it's really not that big of a deal to discard them for Lightning Vortex's effect. But there are better cards out there, obviously, that you can use instead of Lightning Vortex. And I think Infinite Impermanence is definitely one of those that I'm going to put into this deck. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, that little notification bell. Got a lot of big things planned after the turn of the year coming into 2022, so stay tuned for that. Also, if you guys would like to support this channel, we are sellers on TCG Player. Anything that you buy on TCG Player, every cent of that gets turned right back into this channel when you buy our products. Hope you guys are being safe out there. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of your holidays. We'll see you next time.